Hello modelers, and welcome back to DG Modelworks. In this video we're going to take a look at the Athearn Genesis GP15-1 in HO scale with Soundtraxx Tsunami 2, DCC, and sound. And this happens to be in the Conrail livery. So let's take a look. If you would like to see more content from my channel, be sure to subscribe and click that bell icon to be notified of future videos. Let's go ahead and do a quick unboxing. One thing I noticed right off the bat that I've not seen in other Athearn Genesis locomotive releases. Here are instructions on setting your CVs for the lighting functions in this locomotive in case you have to reset your decoder. So if you do a factory reset on your locomotive, you will have to adjust all the lighting functions so it operates the same way as it did before. So here are the instructions and the CV values for that. That's a pretty nice feature for them to include. And then your parts diagram, which it looks like Athearn has finally updated this with the 21 pin board in case you get the non-DCC ready version or the DCC ready version without the decoder, so you can install the 21 pin decoder of your choice. I'm glad to see that they have actually updated the literature on that. That was something that I've wanted them to do for a while. So there is that. You do have the manual for the Tsunami 2 equipped locomotive. All your information on the DCC functions, CVs, everything you need. You can set up the digital dynamic exhaust in this also, if you'd like. That is a pretty cool feature of the Tsunami 2 decoder. Be sure to check that out. Some warranty information and a little pamphlet. Let's see if they included any extra parts before we pull this out. They have included extra lift rings, just in case you happen to break a couple off accidentally, which is easy to do. And here we go. Let's get busy. There's a look of it out of the package, and while you check that out, I'd like to mention that this release from Athearn includes road names CSX, Conrail, Missouri Pacific, Rock Island, and in the legendary liveries, you will have Southern Pacific and Rio Grande. And finishing out the release is the Apalachicola Northern. That's quite a mouthful. These GP15 models are currently available at your local hobby shop. Be sure to check out Midwest Model Railroad in Independence, Missouri, or MidwestModelRR.com. Now a little bit more about the real 1645 GP15-1. Obviously, it spent its life at Conrail, and then eventually with the sale of Conrail and the split between CSX and Norfolk Southern, this ended up at CSX and became road number 1549 and was painted into the YN2 paint scheme, and then sometime later in life ended up in the YN3 paint scheme. So pretty cool history on that locomotive. So what do you say we check out this model now? Now, some cool features with this model. Athearn has decided to upgrade this, and it does have lit number boards and lit class lights now. And of course, all LED lighting, which we will cover a little later. Let's check out some of the details on this model. This does have a lot of the standard Athearn Genesis detail parts separately applied, like the horn, grab irons, coupler cut lever, MU hoses, and it even has etched metal wipers. As with a lot of Athearn locomotives, you do have the sliding window. You do have a full cab interior, simulated walkway tread, and all the painting and printing on this is perfect. You do have legible warning labels. Here is a close-up shot of the fuel fill area. They even included the little Conrail logo right on the sill. Here is a quick glimpse of the truck detail, and this does have separately applied sanding lines. I'm not sure if I can get those in the picture here. Move on to the rear, I can show you the sanding lines back here. There's one right there. And speaking of moving further back, we do have see-through grille areas back here, as you can see as I move the locomotive. Here's a quick look at the detail parts on the rear, which is pretty much the same as on the front. This one does include a weed cutter plow in the back. It does have ditch lights on the rear also, which again we will cover a little bit later. But there you go, a lot of separately applied parts in the back as well. Here's a look at the top of the locomotive, and a really nice grille detail there. There's the separately applied lift rings that they included extra in the box for you, just in case you accidentally break one off. Got the flush mount exhaust stacks, Sinclair antennas, and again the horn. This real locomotive actually had a ratchet style brake, which Athearn has simulated there. You will notice there is not a sunshade on the conductor side. However, there is on the engineer side. So that's a pretty cool prototypical feature that Athearn has included. This side pretty much mirrors the other side. However, here you can see the cab interior, and this does have a cab mounted signal box. There you go. And again, the sunshade on the engineer side. Alright, let's move on to some sounds and function testing of this locomotive. This particular model does come factory equipped with Soundtraxx Tsunami 2 DCC and sound, and does have a dual sugar cube speaker in it. So it does sound really nice. I did lower the volume for the sake of this video again, as I mention all the time. If not, it would be super loud for you guys. So applying track power does the startup sequence. There's your bell. Your horn. And let's test out the slow speed function of this locomotive. I do have this set on 128 speed steps. So let's try that out. We're going to speed step 1. Very nice. Speed step 2. 3. Well, it moves really nice in speed step 1. If you know me, I really like that. I love good slow speed control. Well done. How about before we do any more running of the locomotive, let's go over the lighting functions quick. I did kill a little bit of the lighting in the room so you can see function 6, which is the lit number boards. Nicely done. And again, I will mention this is all LED lighting, and some cameras show the LED lighting as flickering because of the frame rate of the camera. If you notice any flickering in the video, just be aware that is in the video only, not actually happening with the locomotive. So, of course, there's the number boards. Headlight, nice and bright. This does have ditch lights, and they are functional with the horn, where they do alternate. And if I were to unmute it, I will demonstrate again. There you have it. And then this does have operating marker lights. They're not class lights on Conrail, they're actual marker lights. And they are red. So let's access that. That's function 25. There you go. Let me dim the headlights here a little bit. Kill the headlights, maybe the ditch lights. So you do see the red class light, or marker lights, I mean. Very nice. As we move to the rear, you notice the class lights are still on. So whenever you turn them on, they are on both front and rear at the same time. This does have lit number boards in the back also. There you see that. Rear light, nice and bright. And rear operating ditch lights as well. And again, they do alternate also with the horn. The lighting on this is beautiful. No complaints from me whatsoever. I love it. Alright, how about we take this trip down the test track, go through a couple of the notches, let you hear that. We'll do a quiet run so we can check that out. This thing runs really nice. You see the ditch lights and the headlight. I do apologize if you hear some outside noise. I can't help it. My camera mic picks up every little bit of sound. Let's try to do a quiet run test without picking up outside noise. Alright, let's do a quiet run. I don't hear any gear noise, no gear chatter. You do hear some motor hum at a little bit higher speeds, but nothing crazy at all. This does have the Genesis motor, which is pretty reliable. I'm pretty content with that. What do you say we take this for a trip around the layout? That's all I have for you on this video. Take care, and I'll see you next time.